Hello and welcome back to Moonday Messages. I'm a little late with recording, but it is still going to be up on the day the sun moves into a new gate. So I kind of am still in time. It's so interesting because of one specific thing that I heard when I was channeling. I felt called out, but more about that later. Okay, here are the signs that this message is for you. We have 777, 888, and 111, a blue butterfly, a jumping rope. So you might see children jumping rope on the street, or you actually do it in the gym or wherever. Firefighter or fire truck. And then the zodiac signs are Pisces, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Taurus. Okay, the sun is moving into gate 26, which is the gate of the egoist. It is in the heart center, or also called the will center. One thing that I think is very interesting, that in human design, the heart center is also called the will or the ego center. So it is really about, like, what is it that you truly want? That you want for you, for no one else. How do you want to be seen? What you want to experience, what you want to achieve, not for the greater good, not for someone else, which it plays into anyways. But that's not your intention for why you want it. And I think it's very interesting that it is in the so-called heart center, even though it seems egotistical, it seems selfish, right? But at the end of the day, that is what is really driving us. What is it that makes us feel better? Because even if you do something for someone else, it usually makes you feel better. I don't think that there is a deed out there, really, that you can do that will not make you feel better in return, because you created peace for someone, you created or gave someone something. Like there's an actual episode in Friends. Friends is definitely one of my guilty pleasures, where Joey is trying to convince Phoebe that there is no deed that is totally selfless, because it will always make you feel better. And then Phoebe is like taking it upon her to find something to prove him wrong, and even gets to a point of like saying like, oh yeah, like I let a bee sting me, it definitely doesn't that make me feel better, so like that was a selfless deed. And then Joey is like, you know that bees are dying when they sting you. And then Phoebe, being the only vegetarian in that friend group, is just like totally losing it. That just made me think of that. So yeah, it's, if you really think about it, there's never really something that is totally and entirely selfless, because it will always go back to how it makes you feel that you did that for someone else, or for more people, for more than one person, or whatever. And then it just makes me think of how divinely orchestrated it is, that the purpose that we are here for, that inevitably plays into being a link in society, a link in humanity, a link in community, still has to be rooted in what you really want to do. Because if you do things just for the sake of someone else, and be codependent about it, and just do it to be seen in a different light, or loved more or better or longer, or whatever it is that you hope you gain from this, if it is not at the same time really what you want to do, it will never make you feel what you initially thought it will make you feel, because it will never really hit your desire, what you really want to do. So I guess that is just something for you to reflect on in general. But this gate is very much about that. It is about integrity, about persuasion. These are the moments where I realize I'm not a native speaker, and I'm just like, am I pronouncing this correctly? There's also not really a way of you helping me out here, because if you type it out, it will not help me. But hey, the use of willpower and ego to achieve goals and influence others. It's like the ultimate salesperson energy here, to influence others to buy into a better future. Okay. And it really asks you to balance your personal ambitions with honesty and integrity, because even using your persuasive um, ways, it really works best when it is rooted in truth and the greater good. So, in your truth and what you really want to do, and at the same time, will hit the greater good, because that is going to be an inevitable thing. If you are really following what it is that you want to achieve based on your soul level, not your ego, but your soul level, and that is really, you're being really fueled by that energy, it will inevitably bring out the best in you, and therefore you can be the best version of yourself that will also cater to the greater good of everyone. Okay, so I think it's a very interesting energy, because personally that has been something that I have been struggling with. I just got to recording this video now from writing a Substack. I haven't launched my Substack yet, but it's coming soon. So stay tuned for that, where I am writing right now about codependency and my experience with that in relationships, uh, in family dynamics, and friendships and romantic relationships, and how that never really led me to fulfillment and joy and happiness of really just like doing things for someone else, people pleasing, and therefore being like, if you don't see that and you don't understand that that's the dynamic that you're playing out, then that is usually you being codependent. Like, this relationship is a codependent relationship because you're really just catering to for what you think the relationship is and what you think the person wants you to be and say and do, right? And you do that because in return you expect to be loved and not be abandoned and left. And it still left me empty and sad and not fulfilled and happy and loved the way I thought I would feel like. It was a cycle that I'd say I broke with my last relationship, which was 5 years ago. But I can see and feel how parts of it are still coming up now in dynamics. Um, and the relationship before that was the one that I am focusing on in that Substack, that ended very dramatically because he had a spiritual psychosis. But I also was like so codependently in love with this guy back then. Oy. Another one is loading. Maybe. There it is. Okay. Confirmation. Which is 17, 16, 17, 8, 9 years ago. Which brings me to that energy of like, usually a cycle is depending on the astrological transits, is ending around like either 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, but like this feels like a 9-year ending for me. I just recently posted my full moon in Gemini solo release journey that I filmed on my Instagram, which was very dramatic. I cried a lot, but I also laughed a lot, and I realized a lot, and I really felt like that I was releasing a lot of like this people pleasing codependency energies within specifically romantic relationships. So that now this energy is where we are in, and it's more about like, yeah, sell yourself, but rooted in who you really are, is not just in career and business, but also in relationships, right? Like, how honest are you when you have your conversations, when you're going on dates? Are you altering your truth a little bit to be more appeased by the person that you want to be liked by, or be in a relationship in do you alter that still a little bit? And I felt myself doing that in the last dynamic that I had. It wasn't like really really big things, like I did not lie at all, and they are like still no non-negotiables that I have, but I felt myself holding back a little bit here, or saying something in a different way than I usually would, because I was like, maybe they are right. And then later I realized, yeah, they're right, but like that's their truth. It doesn't mean it has to be my truth, right? So like that was a really interesting experience, and I have been reflecting on that, and now this comes up, which is interesting. But let's get back into it. What I heard when I was channeling was, stop avoiding those feelings. Don't run from them. Like, stop avoiding those feelings is what I heard. And then more clarity came in. It's like, don't run from them. They want to be felt and released. Like, there's a big release. Like, after this 9-year energy, we are all ending a cycle here with this 9-year energy. We are all releasing patterns and emotions and things that have been difficult for us to feel and let go of. Okay, so whatever is coming up for you now that you're running from, you are putting yourself out there more and meet people to stop and avoid these feelings, or Netflixing or scrolling, or whatever it is that you do to like avoid these feelings. Please allow yourself to feel them. They are coming up for a reason, because they really really want to be released right now. And then I heard, honor your timeline. Work on what you said you would work on. So there are a few things that I feel like, including myself, I was referring to, like this video. I planned to record this video 2 days ago already, and I haven't done it up until now. So honoring your timeline, honoring the things that you said you would be working on, the things that you said you would be doing, because it's also very much about like showing up for yourself and discipline and maturity. We have Saturn moved out of its retrograde in Pisces. It's still in Pisces, but it's going to move into Aries in February, which is going to be a big big thing. And Saturn is the planet of discipline, structure, and maturity, and it asks you to step more into the version that you want to become, and therefore you have to be more disciplined, right? Discipline is the highest level of self-worth. I already said that in the last video, I think. So stop running from this. I'm talking to myself saying that. Okay. Let's see what the Oracle deck has to say. Okay. What is it that this collective needs to know, Spirit? What else is it that we need to know right now? What is it that we need to know right now, Spirit? Yeah. Ride the wave. Feel the emotions. Don't run from them. What else is it that you need to know, Spirit? What is it that you need to know right now, Spirit? What else is it that we need to know? I'm laughing because it's just uncanny how this energy is just repeatedly coming up again. Yeah. Okay, one more. Okay. Creation, divine masculine, curiosity, end of a cycle, manifester, role model and community, inner knowing, and on the bottom of the deck we have desert, and right under we have fierce. Divine masculine, action taking. Desert, action taking. You need to work on your shit. Right under that we have the manifester. This is how, like, you need to be more unapologetic. The we are in the gate of the egoist, right? You need to be more unapologetic and work on your stuff. When you allow yourself to look at things in a different way and be curious about how you can approach this thing that you want to create, that you want to achieve in a different life, this is when you are ending that cycle of stagnancy. If you need more guidance, tend to your community, tend to the person that you see as a role model. Find yourself a mentor, a coach, get a reading if you need more clarity. But at the end of the day, you need to trust your inner knowing. You need to trust yourself. The way you will be able to be the magician and get into the creation and that energy that you feel stuck in is by taking action, is by being bold and fierce. Okay? There is no other way. No one's going to come and save you. You can ask for help. But even that takes you to take an action step and reach out to people and ask for help. Put yourself out there. Be vulnerable. Be seen as someone that doesn't have it all figured out, which is sometimes not the easiest thing to do. Okay? Nothing changes if nothing changes. I think I already said that in the last video as well. It's time to step up. I don't know what else to tell you. My hypnotherapy recordings are 25% off. They're helping you to get out of the blocks that keep you from taking action. And if you want to get out of survival mode and your nervous system that is activated, same thing. If you want to get out of people pleasing, same thing. If you want to get out of stagnancy and not knowing where to head and what your purpose is, same thing. All of that you can find in these hypnotherapy recordings. I have 3 different bundles that you can choose from. Okay? I also have a free cheat code that helps you to understand what is blocking you from getting into your inner knowing and receiving messages. Okay? All in the description for you to find. Okay? Very clear. Time to take action, baby. Time to take action steps, baby. Okay. I'll see you next week.